here. This is the first replication that you guys will be learning. And honestly, guys, all my courses, I mean, this is a secret or behind the scenes, I'm telling you what goes on. I never really create any documentation or never really keeps any or keep any real documentation like this. You know what? Before I plan to take the course, I will create all this stuff like the document that you're seeing on my screen. So my goal is to simplify the things. Like I have seen a lot of replications online. Even I have, while I was working in 11G version, I've seen a lot of Golden Gate tutorials online, but all of them will start with the very complex stuff, that is schema replication or maybe some HR table replication and some parameters which I could never understand. I mean, it took a lot of time for me to understand Golden Gate. Honestly, I would blame that there was no simple way. So my idea was to simplify the replication, and in this one, we'll first learn the single table replication. If you see over here, we have two schemas. I mean, we'll be creating these two schemas. The schema name is same. The table names are same. The table structure is also same. We are going to create a very simple basic table and configure replication for it. And let us understand the things from the ground zero. So how to replicate one single table when I create the table, when the schema name is same, when the table name is same, and when the structure is same. So if we learn this one, maybe it will be easy to increase the complexity. Like in the next activity, we have table name is same, structure is same, but the schema name is different. Okay, so that way, like I'm increasing the complexity slowly in the Golden Gate practices. So this first practice, if you see this table, this is very important to remember. We have same schema, same table, structure is same, everything is same, and we are configuring the basic replication with the bare minimum parameters. You don't have to refer Google. There are, as I mentioned, there are a lot of parameters out there. They will confuse you. First, learn the things from the scratch level. So what we are going to do is we are going to create this Fox user in both the databases. Okay, so it's very clear, guys. We have this source and target, and we have this OGG user for replication. We are creating a Fox user over here, and again we have OGG user, and we'll be creating another Fox user onto the target server. Now my goal is to have a table which is owned by the Fox user on the source to be replicated onto the target. This is the simple goal I have. The structure is same. The structure is same. The table will be created on both the source and the target, but we will not have any rows. So once we set up the replication between this user, we will enable the replication. That means if I insert a record over here, I must see the record over here as well. This is my goal right now. Very clear. The table structures we'll be creating. We will be setting up the replication, but we will not install any rows in the source until we are done with the replication. So once our replication is done, then we will test our replication by inserting some rows onto the source. Okay. So the first step that we have is to create the Fox user on both prod and the dev server. So these are just silly commands. I mean, you just create the user. I'm granting connect and resource and user Fox. We are giving unlimited quota onto the user's table space, just in case we don't get any issues with the table space. Okay, this is a normal user. If you look at this one, we are not granting any DBA, we are not granting any special permissions. This is a normal database user. So we have to create this user on both source and the target. In Golden Gate, manager process is running. We'll come back to this later. Okay, clear. SQL plus /ss DBA. So I have created the Fox user on the prod DB. Let us connect to the SQL plus. Where is SQL plus? Yeah. And then I'll create the Fox user onto the dev DB. Right? User is created. So what is the next goal? In both the users, we'll create this tab 1. Okay, this is the first table. And as the structure is same, we will run the create command in both the Fox user so that we have the same structure. Don't worry about different structure. Don't worry about different schema. Those are all activities we have later. Our goal right now is very simple. The simplest replication we are trying to do. So on the prod DB, can you see create tab 1 table on both prod DB and dev DB as Fox user. Don't get confused over here because your session will be in the sysdba user or the sys user. Connect to the Fox user and then create this table. Create table tab 1, some columns in which we have 1 as the primary key, C1, C2, C3. And I have created this table onto the prod DB. Let me create the same table onto the dev. Okay. And I'm creating this table tab 1. No changes in the table name, no changes in the schema name. Everything is exactly same. So once we are done with this one, we need to start the Golden Gate replication. As I mentioned, we are not going to insert any rows. Like at the end of the document, just to show you guys, we need to test our replication. So once we set up the replication via Golden Gate, we will be testing the replication by inserting some rows. Okay, so that's why we are not inserting the rows right now. So what is the first thing we have to do over here? Now from the database side, we are done. We have a Fox user. We get a call from our manager saying like, hey, you know what, can you set up the replication for the Fox user? Table name is tab 1. Oh, so what we do is we exit, clear the screen. Now if you see the location, I am in the Golden Gate home location, right? I will start the GGSI, that is Golden Gate command line interface. Inside GGSI, what you need to do? Now we need to connect the database. Okay, as I mentioned, we have the OGG as the Golden Gate administrator. So via the Golden Gate prompt or the command line interface, I need to connect to the database with the admin user. So what is our admin user? Okay, let me write down the command for you guys. DB login. And this is the command. You need to give the user ID password of the user, like your Golden Gate administrator user. In our case, it is user ID OGG. Password is OGG, right? So this way, from the Golden Gate prompt, you actually connect to the Golden Gate administrator user inside the database. Can you see successfully logged into the database? Now, if you want to know how this happened and all those things, if you remember, we have enabled the Golden Gate parameter, replication parameter. Secondly, that LD library path, that is the most important one. If you don't set it, nothing will work. Okay, so all this, your Golden Gate is tightly integrated with Oracle database. So if you just give this DB login user ID, it will log into the database. Now, one new learning over here. What is the new learning? So let me create a new notepad for new learnings. NINGS. Okay. So the first new learning that we had today was every Golden Gate process will have a parameter file. Perfect. That's the first thing we had learned. The second thing that we are going to learn is, and I forgot it. Okay, what was it? Where is the... I was about to say something, I don't know. I missed it, guys. So I'll come back to it, no problem. Oh yeah, I got it, wait. Every time you connect to Golden Gate prompt, log into the DB. This is the new learning that you have. If I exit from GGSI, okay, if I exit and I want to connect back to GGSI again, okay, some commands will work, but a lot of commands will not work. Like info all will work. If I want to stop the manager, this command will work. Don't worry about these new commands. We'll be discussing this later. I'm just showing you some example. Okay. So info all. Now can you see, without even logging to the database, I stopped the manager process. Likewise, few commands will work without logging into the database, but I personally recommend whenever you connect to GGSCI, try to log into the database administrator account. Only in case if you want to know the information, you don't need to log in. But otherwise, a lot of times what happens is, I mean, out of experience, I'm saying, if you configure some process without logging into the database, it will not work. And many a times there are issues if you don't log into the database via Golden Gate prompt. I mean, you won't be able to configure some processes. So blindly, this is what I say, blindly, whenever you connect to Golden Gate, simply give your DB login details, user ID, OGG, password, OGG. Okay, simple as that. First login, then even again you can give this command info all, right? Now you can start the MGR. All the commands will work. Once again, let us check. So what are the two new learnings that we have? First is every Golden Gate process will have parameter file except the collector process. Okay, that process will not have any parameter file. I mean, you don't need to configure it. It will be auto start. Okay, so these are the first two new learnings we have. So once we are logged into the database, now you can see you will get the details of your database over here with which user and which database you are logged into, like OGG@prodDB, right? So if you are not logged in, you will get something like this, only ggprod, your server name. You won't get the database details, right? So even looking at the prompt, you can say that which database, which user you are logged in. Perfect, guys. So info all, manager is running fine. So what is the next goal we are trying to do is, so connect to the database via Golden Gate, and we have logged inside the database via the Golden Gate GGSI prompt. So once you log in, as I mentioned earlier, we also need to enable supplemental logging at the table level. Okay, remember guys, there are two things over here, schema level and table level. To keep these things very simple, we are right now replicating a table, so only we have to enable the table level logging. Simple. When we are replicating schema, we'll enable the schema level supplemental logging. Now the question is, you might have, Arun, how this supplemental logging helps the replication? I'll give you an example. This example might excite you guys. This is an amazing example. Okay, so let me see if I can take the example of this table. Okay, let me get it into the notepad. Just a simple example. Now the issue, what happens when you don't enable the supplemental logging at table level is, when you issue an update command, update table tab 1, set C4 equal to 900, C1 is equal to 1. Some random command I have given. Okay, so updating, I want to update this table 1, and I'm setting the C4 to 900, the column 4 to 900, where column 1, the primary key column is, value is 1. Simple command. But what happens is, in your redo log file, the update command, whenever the data is put over there, only this part will come. This is one big problem. Okay, so that means table has been updated where C4 is 900. Now if you don't enable the table level supplemental logging, understand this command will be executed onto the target. So what is the problem with this command? The problem is that it will update every record where in the C4 column with 900. That's the problem with this one, because where clause never comes into the picture of your redo log files. So what this supplemental logging will do, I'm talking about the Golden Gate supplemental logging that we are going to enable right now. So the next step that we are going to execute is we are telling that Oracle database must log the key column details also. So in this way, the exact command that is run onto the primary or to the prod, the same command goes on to the target and it is executed. Okay. So now if this command goes and executes onto the target server, we have a perfect sync of the transaction. Yes. In the same way, when you are deleting something from the table, and if supplemental logging at table level is not defined, it will be a challenge. The problem is the where clause is never reported. So if it is not reported, then it will be a challenge onto the target side. So your replication needs this supplemental logging at ground level. So database level, perfect, we have defined it, but now we need a table level supplemental logging, and this is to be defined by you inside Golden Gate. Okay, so let us not get into like how we do it onto the other databases. Let us first focus only on the Oracle. So now that we got the details.
Yeah, Arun, one question.
Yeah, tell me.
We have to enable the supplemental logging both at source and target, right?
Yes, definitely. But right now, we are not doing it onto the target right now, only on the source. Because on the target, you only have the apply process. You don't have, only in the extraction, you need the data. While applying, you have the full command, right? There is a full command.
Okay.
See, if this command is going over there, then you don't need supplemental logging over there, right?
Yeah, only at the source, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So add table level supplemental logging via Golden Gate. Yes.
Arun.
Yeah.
Arun.
Tell me.
Because this is unidirectional, that's why we need only the target side.
Correct. Yes. I don't want to mix the concept, so I'm not getting into bidirectional and other stuff. Once we are in that topic, we'll talk about it. Let us just focus on this simplest replication right now. Okay. I would say the way you understand, just understand it. Simple as that. So guys, yes, while we are into different topologies of Golden Gate, there are again different scenarios, but I just don't want to mix up all the concepts. Let's focus on this simplest replication. So as I mentioned, right now our goal is to replicate a table, right? Table 1. So enable only table level supplemental logging. Don't enable the schema level because you are giving an overhead onto the log writer. It will be writing a lot of data about the tables that you don't want data for. See, if your schema is having how many? If your source schema like Fox is having 100 tables, example, okay, and you want to replicate only tab 1. Now, if I enable the schema level supplemental logging for all these 100 tables, the additional data will be written. So this will be an overhead onto your log writer. Don't do these kind of stuff. This is again comes under designing part. While you're designing the application, what level of supplemental logging you have to do. So when we are in schema, I'll talk about it later more in detail. Right now, my goal is to enable supplemental logging on the fox.table1. And this is how we enable it. Add tran data, nothing but transactional data. We are telling Oracle to add extra transaction data for fox.table1. Okay. There is also another way, like if you want to enable for all the tables, you can do it like star also, but don't get into all those things right now. That's not our goal. Tab 1. Okay. So let me enable the supplemental logging. See guys, if you read through the document, where that command has to be run, it is bold and clear on the top of the command. Okay, every command it will have it, and where you don't have, you can read this text. It says you have to run on both prod and devdb. Correct? So on ggprod, add tran data fox.tab1. So let me run it on to the ggprod. Can you see logging of supplemental redo data enabled for the table fox.tab1? Okay, so now when you issue those updates, deletes, inserts, and whenever you're using those where clauses, even that data, the key column data will also be captured into the redo log files. So that way it will be easy onto the replicated site. Now the first thing we have to do is we have to create an extract process. So for me to tell you about all this, I need something. So let me get into architecture. Okay. So give me a minute, guys. Okay, perfect. We have this one. Right. Now this will be fine. Actually, this will help me to explain you guys what I'm trying to do. So as per the architecture, what we have done is we have already defined the manager, right? 7809. Perfect. The manager is running on 7809. The manager has been started on both the systems. Perfect. On the source, what all we have done is DB level supplemental logging is enabled. Even the table level fox.tab1 is enabled. Perfect. These all prerequisites are done. Now our next goal is to configure the extract. So guys, once again, there is a new learning over here. So let me write that new learning and then I will come back to this one. So what is the next new learning you have is every process needs 3 details. Okay, this is something new for you guys, but I'll tell you what it is. There are 3 details that you need to specify to Golden Gate for every process except the collector. So whenever I use the word all the processes, just exclude the collector. You don't do anything with the collector. Okay. What are those 3 things? See, every process, if you look into the Golden Gate configuration, there is an input, there is an output. For data pump, there is an input, there is an output. Collector, as I mentioned, we do nothing. For replicate, there is an input and there is an output. Okay. So for every process, 3 things you have to mention. First is input details. Second is output details. Can anybody tell me the third detail that we need? Anyone? We have already seen that learning. Come on, guys.
Parameter.
Yes, we need the parameter file. Without parameter file, how it will work? Perfect. So remember this one, every process in Golden Gate needs to have 3 details. One is the input details, output details, and the parameter file, except the manager, because even manager does not have those details. We have only the port number over here. I'm talking about the extract, data pump, and replicate. For these 3 processes, we need to have 3 details. First is input detail, like what is the source of data, what that process will do, from where it will read the data. The output details, the output is nothing but where it will push the data, whether it is on source trail or whether it is on target database. That is output details. And then we need a parameter file in order to run a process, right? So that parameter file will have the details of everything. See guys, don't get confused over here. We need to provide the input details, we need to provide the output details, and even these 2 details are to be contained in your parameter file. Okay, so don't get confused, because you might say, like, if we provide everything in the parameter file, then why we have to type separate commands to define input and output? Yes, we have to do it 2 times. I mean, you have to say what is the input, you have to say what is the output, and those input output details are again to be stored inside your parameter file. So with this details that we have, let us configure the extract process. Remember, 3 things we have to configure. Okay, so for the extract process, the command is very simple: add extract, the name of the extract process. We are going with ext1, and there is a comma in the syntax. Then we have integrated tran log. If you remember, there are two types of capture process, that is in classic and integrated. Okay, and one more thing, guys, just to show you something. On your course, I published this new lesson that is important, how to upgrade classic capture to integrated capture. Okay, if you click on this one, I have talked more about the classic capture, what is integrated capture, and what are the integrated capture modes, and then Oracle Golden Gate apply process, what is non-integrated apply, what is integrated apply, advantages of integrated apply. And there is an important note. I want to talk about this important note. Integrated capture and apply are native to Oracle database only. For other databases, you need to use the classic capture and classic apply. Okay, and you have an activity document that you can download, how to upgrade a classic capture to integrated capture. So I don't recommend you guys to do this activity now until you get familiar with one or two replication steps. But I have already published it. In case if you want to go through, you can go through it. Okay. So now you will have this question, how to add an integrated capture. If you issue this word integrated, this will start an integrated capture. This is the first command. And if you want to start a classic capture, then you don't need to use this word. So what is the difference in both of them? This uses the log mining service, and this one uses your redo or archive. And we have already seen what is the importance of integrated translog. Reading of the transactions is moved pretty close to the database rather than reading from redo or archive. So definitely in Oracle we have this option. So why not use this option? Correct. So the command is very simple. Add extract, the name of the extract. What is the type of the extract, whether it is classic or integrated. So this translog is constant, nothing but it's like your transaction logs. And if you issue this integrated, it will read from the log mining service inside the database. This begin now, we are telling that make sure this extract starts right away. Actually, it will not be started. Ultimately, it means that we want the ext1 to read from the LCRs, that is logical captured records, nothing but from your log miner service immediately. I want that ext1 should start talking to the log mining service right now. Immediately, I want to start this thing. So this command, once you execute, by looking at our three important terms. Okay, let me put it on the notepad. What are those three details? First one is input details. Second one is output details. Third one is parameter file. Perfect. Now, as per the input details, right now, what we are doing is, okay, we haven't done anything. We are actually creating the process right now. So where is it? So we are adding this extract process inside the Golden Gate. Let us add this process. Add extract ext1 integrated begin now. Extract integrated added, right? So info all, you can see we have a manager which is running, but extract is stopped. By default, all the extracts will be, whatever process you add, it will be stopped. You might say we have issued begin now, why it did not start? Because we have two other things to specify. Not two, all the three. We did not create any parameter file, no input details, no output details, nothing has been specified. So process is created. Now with the integrated capture, we need to register this extract process with the database. A simple command, register extract ext1 with the database. If you don't register it, then the log mining service will not be able to talk to your extract process. Even if you miss to issue this command, it will give you an error when you try to start it. Okay, can you see extract ext1 successfully registered with the database at this SCN number? Perfect. So extract process is registered with the database. Next, what? Now, this is something like our input detail. Nothing but we have registered the extract process with the database and we have told that this is an integrated capture which will talk to the log mining service. So this is our input details for the extract process. What are the output details? I want, like, what is the job of the extract process? To write onto the source trail files. So I need to specify the location of this source trail files. Okay, so this location I will manually say like add ext trail. We are adding a trail file over here. Nothing but these are the trail files, and then we will have to give the location. If you look at the location, it is nothing but again Golden Gate directory dir dat. This is the location dir dat. This is the location where we keep all the trail files. Okay, nothing but dir data. And inside this location, I want that trail files should start with ex. Okay, that is the prefix I want to give to the trail files. Remember, you can give prefix only for 2 characters. Don't give it for 3 or 4 characters. So ex is like just 2 characters, and then you have 9 zeros, and then it will be all zeros, 801, 802, 803. That's how your trail files will be generated. And then I have to say this is the output of which process, extract ext1. Okay, so I need to add this extract trail ext1. So I am telling the Golden Gate that add this as the target file or the source trail file for the extract process ext1. Perfect. Can you see extract trail is added? So what is the third thing? We have to define the parameter file. So edit param, the process name ext1. So edit param ext1. Now what all parameters we have to put? First 2 parameters are common for all the processes. Blindly. First 2 parameters are common. The name of the process, whether it is extract, replicate, whatever it is, and then the extract name. Next is the user ID with which the Golden Gate administrator user, with which this process will log into the database. So user ID OGG, password is OGG. Then we have ext trail, the extract trail. This is the trail file just now which we have added. If you see this one, I mentioned, right, the input and output details you have to specify separately, and again those details should be there in the parameter file. So we have to specify the trail file to which this extract process will write, and at the end we specify the input table table fox.tab1. I want this extract to read this table, and whenever a transaction insert, update, delete happens on fox.tab1, capture it. So I'll put these details in this one. Very simple. The first one is the details of the process, the extract ext1. Second is the Golden Gate admin login ID and password for the database. Third is the output trail file. And the last one is the source table, fox.tab1. Right? So my extract is done. Now I need to add a data pump process. So what is the job of the data pump? To pump the source trail. So what are the input details for the data pump? It is the source trail input, and I need to give the output details onto where it is going to write the target files, right? Okay, so do we have some chat? So do we have to execute all GG steps from the GGSI prompt only, or can SQL prompt also be used? So how can you use SQL for GG commands? Okay guys, don't mind, I have so many requests. Maybe few of them might like this session to be continued, but there are a lot of people who have a lot of appointment. I think the way I'm explaining, I will again further take more 40 minutes from now, because a lot of things are to be covered. So what I'll do is, as I mentioned earlier, I will re-record this entire session, like the same schema, single table replication, and then pass it on to you guys. Regarding my travel from 30th to 5th, I will update you what is my plan in order to not to stop your sessions. Okay, so at least I'll see I can give you 2 videos to be completed and some assignments so that you carry on with your stuff. Okay, so we'll wind up today's session because already there are a lot of people who are getting late and they don't want to miss this one. So guys, anything before we wind up our session? Do we have to enable
Arun,
supplemental
one
log?
small thing.
Yeah, tell me.
Arun, actually, I just tried by the class was going on. I just tried to do the again installation of this GG but again
Okay.
still my internet. This I'm unable to ping the Google.com with this. I
No,
believe
no, you do one thing.
even
No,
now.
as I told you, I just made you
Mhm.
presenter in the GGDev. Okay, let me see your screen first. Yeah, so you're not able to.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
It's so I can do this, but when I do this, I'm unable. I tried DHCP. I tried everything.
No, wait.
It's not.
If you see the above laptop icon, it says X. So open the edit the connections. Yeah, network is not connected. Yeah, edit this one. Okay, try with DHCP over here instead of manual. Try DHCP. Yeah.
This one.
Yes. Click on apply.
Tried that. Should I remove or uncheck this?
For the connection to complete. I don't think we deal with that one. Just click on apply. Okay, restart the network, service network restart. Device not managed by network manager or unavailable. Okay, this will be a challenge over here. Give me access to your system. I mean, I'll try once. Wait,
Okay.
I'll request keyboard and mouse. You got it?
Okay,
Okay.
I've given you.
Yeah. Okay, can you take out the cursor from the VM?
Okay, done.
Okay. So you are connected with this one, right?
Yes.
To the internet. Okay. Okay, the cursor connection is lost. Can you see the cursor moving at your end?
Yes.
Just leave it once now. Okay. No, I'm not getting it. Just click on IPv4 once and go to properties over there. Yeah.
This one.
Yes. Go to properties. Okay. Just cancel it. Okay. Dual band wireless EC. Okay. Cancel again. Go to the VM properties window, the settings window. Yeah.
Settings.
Network again. Advanced. Okay. In the allow all, just try deny. Sometimes it does work with the deny.
You want me to go? Okay.
1 minute, 1 minute. Can you do one thing? Okay, I got the control. Just a minute. Huh? Let me do a test on your system. Okay. This is Intel PRO MT. Okay, same. So this one is 686 DC, and this one is
This is working fine. I'm in prod. I have switched off now.
it's
Powered off it.
okay. So now let us do one thing. We'll import it again. Okay, so where is the location?
Here is.
Yeah. Okay. Should be fine now.
Basically, there is a point. Reinitialize the MAC address of all network cards.
I mean,
Should I check it?
you don't need to do it because all our systems are different, right? If you are at my location in my office using the same router, then you have to reinitialize the MAC. We all are on different networks, right? So the same MAC address which I'm using, everybody can use because it is local to your router.
Okay.
I mean, 99% it never gives a problem. I suspect one thing, but that's a very long way. I don't want to get into it. You need to add a new adapter, then edit the network adapter file. That's a big one. Well, we'll try something different. I have another idea in mind to solve this problem.
But how come ggprod is working fine? I mean, I'm really shocked.
Maybe some conflict with the MAC address, or sometimes it happens. Let me just look.
Okay, you want me to do?
Yeah, no, wait. So over here, this has taken your default network, okay? And over here also, I don't want to change anything. Let us just fire this VM and see what happens.
It won't work.
Let's see.
Did you start it?
I clicked on it.
Strange. This time it's working. I sent you a screenshot also. I remember.
Maybe
It was not working.
Was it? Sometimes it happens, when you go to the doctor, you always feel better. So maybe the VMs are scared of me, so they are working fine.
I'll take it as a taunt.
I mean, it should work fine. Should not be an issue. We'll see.
Yeah.
So just to help you with the shortcut, I'll tell you another way to work around this problem. So the network adapter one, you can enable another network adapter over here, okay? So you will have two adapters. The second adapter you configure into the DHCP mode so that it will talk to the internet. Get your yum installer work done, then remove the adapter. That is one shortcut that people do.
My question is the second adapter should be bridge. The same bridge.
100%. All should be in bridged mode. Without bridged, it won't be able to talk to your router.
Okay, so you want me to start the second adapter? Then it will be, when I give the if config, it will show me Ethernet 1, I believe. Isn't it?
Yes. For first adapter, it will be ETH0. Second one would be 1.
And so second one will be DHCP. You want me to put DHCP?
Yes. Second one will configure it as DHCP. Yes. I mean, we'll see. If this is not working, then we'll go with that.
Sure.
That's the easiest way. Even many people, when practicing rack, even though we need two network adapters, they enable the third one. Third one would be on DHCP, and the first one would be public network. Second one would be private network. I mean, that's the easiest way to practice. So it's taking quite a long time to come up.
Yeah, I have an i5, but it's slower than yours. I have a 12 GB RAM.
Somehow I have tested. I told you, right? I have 3-4 laptops at home. All I purchased, first I purchased when I was practicing. Initial I have an Intel Celeron, then I purchased which one? i3 fourth generation, then I purchased i3 fifth generation, i3 sixth generation. I mean, many a times I found like i5, I heard that it is okay only. It's same as i3, but it is preferable to go on i7 rather than i5. I
See, when
Yeah.
VM is working, it's very slow. I mean, when I click on this PC,
Mhm.
it is like this. I don't know
Yes.
why.
What's the RAM? How much RAM you have?
12.
12 won't work. You need to have minimum 16. That is one issue. So if you are firing out two VMs, minimum you should have 16 GB. Like in my laptop, it is 20 GB, and I have i3 sixth generation, so it's working fine for me. And try to increase the RAM on your system. It should be good.
Sure, I'll do it.
Let us close this one. Let us close the VM and start it up again.
You want me to close?
Yeah, close the VM.
In the power off.
Yeah.
Close.
Yes, power off. It's taking time to stop as well.
Yeah, I mean, it usually takes time, but then it comes up. Okay, it's done.
Yeah, start
Then
now.
to start.
Yes. So what you can do is, like, if you have a little RAM, close all the stuff that you're not using in the taskbar. That will reduce the RAM usage, like your sniping tool, your Google Chrome, everything that you keep on that will consume RAM. So keep bare minimum things on, and then it should be fine. So every window that you open, it will definitely consume RAM. Okay, try to open putty and connect to this VM. Okay, your subnet is different, right? 192.168.1, so it won't work.
Hey Arun, it's Pankaj here.
Yeah, Pankaj, tell me.
So Arun, while doing RAG course, I also had these issues, and I just fixed it by changing the IPv4 settings. Just put the automatic, and the DNS just put 8.8.8.8. That is Google's default DNS.
Yeah, we can do that. There are multiple ways to resolve this issue. I mean, if you guys are not using yum repository, then you don't even have to connect to the internet. I made a mistake. I thought it was in my mind to finish off the yum repository steps and then give you the VMs. But then again, you might have missed out on that learning as well. So I thought you should do it from scratch. Hitesh, what I'll do is I'll give you another shortcut. I mean, there are two things over here. The first one is to add another network adapter and then make it as DHCP. You get the work done, then delete the adapter. That's the first case. Second thing is close this window. Click on the X on the top. Yeah, you can click it on the close one. Correct. So it's not closing.
It's taking time.
Yeah. Okay, open the VMware. Yeah. What you can do is just do a right click, perform a clone, and give it as ggdev example. Right now I'm giving dev1 because we already have ggdev. Click on next. So make a full clone. 1 minute. Did we miss one more step? In this case, you need to reinitialize the MAC and IP because two VMs cannot have the same MAC address, right? So in this case, reinitialize it. Next. And then you just perform a full clone. You will get ggdev. So it will be just like clone of your prod.db. But the problem is you need to edit the host name because inside the VM, the host name would be prod only, like ggprod. You need to change the host name and then check with the network. So if you have any issues, send me an email. We can log in separately
Sure.
for this issue.
Sure, I'll try all the things, and
Yeah.
if I have an issue, I'll send.
Okay. So we have Nikhil, would normal logging be able to capture complete DML including the key values, or is it only the case of Golden Gate? Yes, it won't capture. That is what example I showed you guys, right? So with the update command, you won't get the where clause. That is a simple example. There are a lot more things. We need to have the key column details. Which column the transaction is impacting, or which key column the transaction is reflecting. Okay. So guys, Anything before we wind up?
Hey, Arun, this is Yogesh.
Yeah, Yogesh, tell me.
Does the Golden Gate have means to monitor like alert log features like DB is having to monitor
Yes,
anything?
yes,
Do we
yes, we have
means we can see the any error in the Golden Gate alert log?
everything you can do. So we have
Okay.
it in the upcoming sessions. Okay, right, guys. For the coming weekend, I'll update everybody what is the status and how are we going to overcome it. If I'm able to record the videos for you guys, I'll share it with you. If I'm unable to record the videos or if there is an internet connectivity issue in the area I'm traveling, at least I'll make sure you get these like single table replication video. You get the different schema replication video, and also you get some assignments for these 2 weeks. Okay, so I'll update you on that. I'm really not clear about it, but yes, you won't get any reply to your emails from 30th till 5th. So in that period, even if you're sending any emails, I won't have any access. Okay, guys, see you then. Take care. Bye bye.